Good morning. You probably noticed a slight location change. No longer in Dubai, we've moved on, and you'll be seeing the next part of the travel on the channel. The channel's a little bit behind. Got a few more Dubai videos to come out before you start seeing this next step in the journey. I wanted to just have a quick chat about what on earth is going on in the UK at the moment. This is not an exhaustive list. I want to briefly talk about Southport, Birmingham, Plymouth, Bath, children dying, cars crashing, and a tornado. I spent a bit of time on Twitter last night, and it's astonishing just how far the UK seems to have fallen from where it once was. So let's just go into my list. Right, in the news today, there's a 12-year-old boy that's been stabbed to death in Birmingham, and Chief Superintendent Richard North says the same teenager who was arrested for that was also arrested in connection with an assault on another woman in her 80s on Sunday, an unrelated matter. So there's a child that's died very sadly in Birmingham, in Hall Green, and Hall Green it's not like a totally crappy part of Birmingham either. So that's kind of worrying. And then there's a comment here from The Guardian today: child deaths in England are rising above pre-pandemic levels, a study finds. So not a good time to be raising children, or indeed to be a child in England. Then you've got a woman has been jailed for killing a baby in a crash in Pembrokeshire, where she lost control of a BMW, floored the throttle, jumped a curb, and ran into a crowd, which is just a shocking story. And then another one, there's been a tech entrepreneur who's been jailed for leaving a baby with permanent injuries in a 136-mile-an-hour Ferrari crash in Cheshire. Right, that's before we dive into the main things that I wanted to talk about. I'll get on to Southport in a minute. That was Birmingham. Plymouth, there's been some really weird police things going on, and I see in the news today that a woman has been murdered. So that's obviously not great either, but it doesn't necessarily explain what was actually going on in Plymouth. If you follow the local news, you'll see that there was multiple large police presences all over Plymouth. There were bomb teams, there were armed teams. Some people were saying it was some kind of special police division that was rolling around Plymouth. So I don't know what that's all about. I don't know what that was for. There's also some comments on Twitter saying the same thing was happening in Weymouth, I think, the week before. So if you know anything about this, then do let me know. We'll put it in the comments for everyone else to know, because I can't find anything in the media about it. Then there's this tornado that has happened in Cornwall and destroyed, I think, Trevornick Caravan Park. There's a video that my friend Scott in Cornwall sent me last night, which is just astonishing. You've got 128-mile-an-hour winds heading for the UK. You've got that's basically more than has ever been recorded. It's like a 100-year storm that is about to hit the UK, or is hitting the UK right now. And then you've got a cross continent flight from the USA to Europe that just broke some ridiculous record because it was flying with the jet stream, and it almost reached supersonic levels. This is like a passenger flight. So the weather patterns around the world are absolutely insane. From what I'm told, the UK has been completely grey since we left, and the amount of people now questioning and posting about the skies seems to be increasing. People do seem to be waking up to the fact that if the weather isn't being manipulated, then at the very least, it ain't normal. It's grey on this side of Sri Lanka, but I'm told that that's fairly normal for this time of year, and we are headed to the south side where the surf is tomorrow. Now, the Southport one. I'm confident that oh no, I don't want to do Southport yet. Let's just do this one, because this was in the news today, and I think this is interesting as well. This is from The Guardian. Gender dysphoria in children rises 50-fold in 10 years. So, children not knowing what gender they are has risen 50-fold in 10 years. Well, I'll tell you what, if you start introducing programs to schools that encourage children to question their gender, then they're going to start questioning their gender. And if you start using herbicides and fertilizers in farmland that are known to cause gender changes in frogs, and then you silence the person that discovered it and discredit him and destroy all his research, and then it all turns out to be real, well, those two things could be connected. So the food that we are eating may well be turning us from men to women, and the education that we're giving our children may well also be turning them from men to women. Done plenty of videos on drag queen story hour and all the like really inappropriate stuff that is going on in schools and, well, everywhere at the moment. And then you got a headline wondering why gender dysphoria, gender confusion has risen 50-fold. Well, start talking about it and it will. It's like racism and diversity. The more you talk about our differences, the more our differences will become apparent. It's that simple. We're all humans and we need to start respecting people as humans. But in the context of the UK, I think it might be too late for that. Right, let's just talk briefly about the Southport thing. I know that there are better channels for this, and I've got car videos coming up as well. I do want to do some EV bashing in a minute because this is a pretty heavy video. Southport, right. It looks like there were plants in the Southport. We know what happened with the Southport thing. I don't think I need my computer now. We know what happened. The crime was beyond disgusting, beyond despicable. There are no words. And pulled apart by horses is really the only appropriate form of action for something like this. The problem that you've got is this keeps happening, doesn't it? It's happening time and time again, and each one is getting worse. How bad do the details of a court case have to be before the British people stand up and say, we can't do this anymore, this hasn't worked? And now where we've got to is a 52-year sentence for the person that did it, and it's going to cost the British taxpayer £1,000 a week to house him and £1,000 a week to protect his family. I don't think I can really say what I truly think about this on my channel without getting myself into some major sort of trouble. And then you've got Keir Starmer, who is basically what they're going to do, sorry for the ramble, is they're going to use this. What's that car there? That's cool. They're going to use this to try and bring in digital ID. That's what I think. I think they're going to use it as an excuse to try and tighten knife laws. Like they're going to try and blame the knife, the fact that he was 17 and he was able to order a knife on Amazon. I did a little bit of time working for an outdoor store, and we always had major problems with knife laws, right? Most knife crimes in the UK are committed with common or garden kitchen knives. It's nothing to do really with Rambo knives and machetes, although people that come from countries where they're quite used to using machetes do enjoy using machetes when they get to the UK, because that's what they're familiar with, and that's understandable. But predominantly, most knife crimes are crimes of passion, and they are done with a kitchen knife that you can grab within 10 seconds in any normal household. I think what's going to happen next is we're going to see a push towards tighter knife controls on the sale of knives, and as through the back door, we'll then see the introduction of digital ID. That's what all of this is about. Was the whole thing a psyop? Well, I don't think I can say that. I know what I think about it all. I think there will be more. I think they will get worse, and I think it's shocking that this is where the UK is at. There are plenty of better videos on what happened in Southport. Another train. And the issue is the way it was handled by the media. So now we've got people like Dale Vince, the EV guy, the electric guy, telling us that we need tighter controls on misinformation, when all of the misinformation that came out about Southport was from the media. Do you remember the first photos of the chap that did the thing? Oh, he's this sweet little choir boy from Wales. Compare that with the photo that is of him now. We're being lied to by the media, we're being lied to by the government. The government is supporting all of these crimes, and I would probably go as far to say the government is encouraging all of these crimes, because nothing is being done to stop any of this stuff. And when, little girls are targeted, doesn't seem to me that anybody really does enough about it. If we're in, I don't know how much you can actually say on YouTube about people coming in from different countries that have different beliefs as to what, I can't say it, but you know it and I know it. It ain't right. So that's the UK at the moment. Children are dying, children are transgendering, people are getting stabbed left, right and centre, and the UK government has just decided that their tagline for this year is going to be to build, not block. So they're going to stop the blocking of building projects so they can build more houses, which probably won't be for people of, how shall we say it, of British descent. And this is the Prime Minister who, whilst he was in office as an MP, was the person that was doing the blocking. They're just killing time until things can really kick off, and then they can offer a new solution. Problem, reaction, solution. I do think the UK is pretty much finished. I'm highly concerned for the fact that we've got to come back at some point. And let me know your thoughts in the comments. My main thing here is, what do we do? Can anything be done? We can't get rid of this government until the next election, and we don't have a viable alternative. We don't have a Donald Trump character in the UK. I'm not completely sure that I trust Richard Tice of Reform, and I'm kind of getting the idea that Nigel Farage is in it just for himself. So it's down to you and your community to start working together. I've said this before, community is going to be the only way that we're going to get out of this. But yeah, it certainly doesn't look like there's any easy answers to the tricky things that are going on in the UK right now. Let me know how you are surviving the storm. Let me know if you're in Cornwall and you saw the tornado. And I don't really like making videos like this. I've been enjoying making interesting travel videos, but that is the UK as I see it from the newspapers from this morning. And a bit more Dubai content is coming up because there's still some scheduled videos to go out, including a fantastic visit to a dealership with like 80 odd supercars, which again, and there will be a video on my time in Dubai, because in order to live in Dubai or spend any time in Dubai, you have to completely suspend your ideas about what the real world is actually about, because this is much more the real world. And someone commented on my Twitter saying, how can you possibly be spending time in a country that is completely based on corruption and abuse of the people? And I said, I've already left the UK, so what's the difference? The UK is exactly the same, it just does it in a different way. Pretty concerning times ahead, but positive thinking and confident actions will see us win the day. Come on, it has to, doesn't it?